In this video we're going to be taking a look at one of Ocean Software's first big licensed titles, 1985's Rambo First Blood Part 2. Ocean had released a few movie and TV tie-in games, such as Knight Rider, Street Hawk, The Never-Ending Story and the mediocre Highlander, to name a few, but they didn't exactly hit the mark with the young gamers of the time. Then Ocean brought out the big guns, pun intended. The game is of course based on the film of the same name released earlier that same year. Sylvester Stallone reprises his role as hardened Vietnam War veteran John Rambo, who is tasked with entering enemy territory to photograph suspected POWs in a Vietnamese camp and ordered not to engage the enemy or attempt to rescue the prisoners. But of course this is Rambo we're talking about. The game follows the plot of the film pretty closely. Enter the POW camp, free the prisoners, escape in a chopper. And that's it. It's an extremely short game, and if you know where to go and what to do, unlike my 14-year-old self back in 1989 when I first played this, you can complete it in around 5 minutes. Yeah, 5 minutes. Rambo was also the first game to be released in the Hit Squad's movie collection in 1989, and it was that version I had back then. Now, one of the things about Rambo First Blood Part 2 that people remember fondly is the music by Martin Galway, especially the loading music from the original release of the game. Now, do you hear that beeping? Well, that's a clever little Easter egg that is actually Morse code of the programmers' names: Bill Barner, David Collier, Tony Pomfret, Steve Waheed and musician Martin Galway. Now let's take a look at the game itself. After entering your name from the letters that form a rather suspect shape, although I think it's meant to be a military helmet, you take control of Rambo, armed with his bowie knife, arrows and explosive arrows. You can always find extra weapons along the way, scattered throughout the jungle and enemy camp, such as a machine gun just randomly placed at the side of this Vietnamese temple and a box of grenades in the camp. Now, like I said, you're not meant to engage the enemy, but that's not exactly easy when as soon as the game starts, they start firing at you. So when I've played this game in the past, I've always gone to the right of the camp and blown open a hole in the fence and crossed over the moat that way. But I find it a lot easier if you keep your bowie knife and you go to the left of the camp, because in the top left of the camp there's an opening where you can sneak in and duck past the watchtower and free your comrade Banks, who is tied to a bamboo cross. Once you've rescued him, you head north where there's a helicopter waiting, but you need to switch to your explosive arrows in order to clear a path through the dense jungle. And because Rambo is as wide as he is tall, he can't fit between palm trees. So the easy option is to just blow them to smithereens. Once inside the helicopter, you need to head south back to the enemy base to rescue the rest of the prisoners of war, and they're located in a little bunker in the southwest of the camp, and again use your knife to break the lock. After the little cutscene, it's back to the helicopter to escape to Thailand, where your base is situated. But the enemy has been alerted and they've sent out a gunship in order to take you down. So you can either try to outrun the gunship or destroy it. Now if you hit it 4 times, it spins off and you think you've done it. But no, it comes back and you hit it another 4 times and it spins off again, and hopefully by the time it comes back a 3rd time, you would have reached your base. So there we have it, I finally beat Rambo First Blood Part 2 after 36 years. But I must have played through this about 15 times before eventually defeating that bloody gunship. Now there is a known cheat, if you like, where you plug in a second controller into port 1 and when you're in the helicopter trying to outrun the gunship, you push forward on one joystick and back on the other, and the helicopter goes at super speed. And you go in that fast, you don't even see the gunship, and you can fly straight to your base in Thailand, thus completing the game. So that was Rambo First Blood Part 2 on the Commodore 64, but there were 2 other versions, one on the Amstrad and one on the Spectrum, so let's have a quick look at those. Now on the Amstrad version, the graphics and the sprites are very similar to the Commodore 64, but you've just got a smaller game window. It does scroll pretty well, but it's a little too fast for my liking. And unfortunately, the only music in the game is right at the start and during those cutscenes between stages. But I must admit, the heads-up display does look a lot better than the Commodore 64 version. And on to the Spectrum version, and for some reason this game takes place at night and there is very little vegetation compared to the other 2 games. But from what I've seen, the Spectrum version has 3 difficulty levels, so you can select those at the start of the game. And it's a little different in the way you enter the camp. I think you can only go through the side of the fence and you can't sneak round the top left corner like in the other versions, because the moat goes all the way around the camp except for on the right hand side where you have to blow open the fence. And I think Banks is somewhere in the middle of the camp. I went to the top left and he wasn't there, so it's a little bit different to the other versions. And in this version of Rambo you get 3 lives as opposed to an energy bar. So what did you think of this game? Did you have this back in the day? Did you complete it, unlike me who couldn't get past the gunship? And did you know of that trick with the second joystick? Let me know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video or have a taste for nostalgia, be sure to hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care, bye!